Hi, and welcome to the InTouch Machine Edition training video series. In this video, you're going to get prepared on how to use and watch the remainder of the training videos. The course description, this is going to provide you with a beginning of the common keystrokes that are going to be used and the mouse clicks throughout the rest of the training videos. It's also going to suggest ways to get the most out of this video series. Upon completion of this course, you're going to be able to understand some of the keystrokes and mouse clicks that will be used, understand just how to get the most out of this series of videos, and recognize some of the features of the ribbon interface. So let's get started. What are you going to need? You're going to need a distraction-free area. What we recommend is a closed door office. Possibly maybe a conference room if you're going to be doing this with coworkers, but really make sure that you're set up in a way to be distraction free. We all know that everybody's busy these days and you're going to get interrupted, but turning off cell phones, closing the door, putting a note on the door that you're in the middle of training maybe, so that coworkers know not to interrupt you. Generally, the videos are going to be somewhere around 30 minutes or so, some less, some more. I believe these are going to go, some of them are going to go up to 45 or 50 minutes in some of the more advanced topics, but generally they'll be about a half an hour or so. Also recommend a way to take notes, whether that be a notepad and pencil and paper if you prefer that, or some type of electronic method, opening up a text editor or a word processor and taking notes in that is highly recommended because that's a little bit more green. And searchable later on. That's another good thing about the electronic method. Eventually, probably in the fourth or fifth, sixth video, not exactly known at this point, you will need Wonderware InTouch Machine Edition installed. You don't need that for the first few videos, so take your time in getting that going. We'll let you know when you do need that, but eventually you will need that. You'll need some type of PC with speakers or headphones. At this time, excuse me, at this time it's not known if you'll be able to view this on other types of devices. So for now, the minimum requirements will be a PC with speakers. Headphones are best. Headphones would be recommended if to help you capture some of the nuances and things that are said. There's a lot of terminology and technical terminology, and I'll do my best to enunciate and pronounce the terms as best as I can. So again, headphones are really recommended. We're going to use the help system quite a bit through these training videos. Subscribe to kind of the teach a person to fish rather than handing them a fish. So teaching you how to use the help system. Not going to read verbatim out of the help system, but point you in general directions and how to find information and how to use the help system as effectively as possible. Big note, you will be able to pause, rewind, or start the videos over if you need to, and it's highly suggested if you miss a concept or are following along on another PC to be able to pause, do the particular task, maybe look at the script that's on the screen, and continue on with that. Some of the conventions that are used. We're going to be left-clicking, double-clicking, and right-clicking throughout this training video series. I'm going to try to, especially in the first few videos, to announce when I left-click or when I double-click or when I right-click. And as time goes on or the videos go on, I will do less and less announcing of that as you get familiar with what interfaces require left-click, double-click, and right-clicks. There are certain key combinations that are not necessarily part of InTouch Machine Edition, but are more Microsoft or Windows standards. For example, Alt and Tab. If you hold down the Alt key and then tap on the Tab key multiple times, that will allow you to rotate through the various running applications on your PC. And occasionally we will use that to switch between a development environment or runtime environment or some different types of views. So be aware that that's happening. Again, I'll announce that when I can. If you are running on a PC, you can use Alt and F4 to close the current running application. And again, that's not an InTouch Machine Edition standard, that's a Microsoft standard, so you can use that at any time really, not just in InTouch Machine Edition. There will be several times, especially during the development environment, that we will use Alt and Enter to bring up the properties of an object. There are times when maybe you have an object selected and maybe it's behind another object or nearly behind another object. Rather than trying to double click on that, you can use the Alt and the Enter key to bring up the properties of that object. That's something that works in PowerPoint, for example. So that again, that's something that you can use in other applications as well. Another nice feature, and it will be used throughout these training video series, is control and drag. It's a way to kind of all-in-one make a copy, paste, and position whatever object or objects you're copying. Rather than hitting Control C and Control V and having it paste up in the corner and then having to manually move that, if you select an object or group of objects, hold down the Control key and then drag a copy off the top of the original set that you were working with, it's a much easier, much quicker way to do that. So I'll try to announce that as I start to do that and show you where that can be used in some of the formatting videos and things of that nature. It's also going to be used where we can select multiple objects or groups of objects. And one of the ways that we can do this is to hold down the Shift key as you select multiple objects. Or alternatively, you can window around multiple groups of objects. This is the standard everybody should know and understand if you've got some Windows experience. A couple notes is if you're windowing around multiple objects and you don't completely encompass an object, it will not be selected along with the other objects. That could be used to your advantage. If you want to select parts of a group of objects but not others, strategically, if you can come from the side or the right hand side or left hand side or the bottom of the group of objects, you can sometimes strategically not include other objects. If it's kind of impossible to do that, another way that you can do this is to deselect, and this can be done by holding down the Shift key and double clicking on an object. So once you've selected multiple objects, if there's one within that set that you don't want to have selected, you can hold down the Shift key and double click on it and it will deselect it. Another thing, and we'll mention this when we get to some of the formatting, is that if you have the grid selected, you can hold down the Shift key and use the arrow keys on your keyboard. That'll allow you to move objects or whatever is selected around. If you have the grid turned off, rather than moving by a grid at a time, it will move a pixel at a time. Alternatively, on the Format tab, there's a way to directly position objects, so that's another way to do that. But just wanted to mention that as we get started here. Another thing that you're going to need to know and understand is the ribbon interface. This has been a common interface in a lot of Microsoft products. I think Microsoft Word, maybe, or Office 2007 in general, was really the first to introduce the ribbon interface. And we've taken advantage of this standard. But I wanted to point out that across the top, you're going to see these various tabs. In this screen capture here, you can see the home, the view, the insert, project, so on and so forth. Those are tabs. Across the bottom, you're going to see the groups. Often I'm going to refer to where to find a particular tool or an object or shape by the tab, by the group, and then the name of the icon or the object to select there. So just be aware when I say tab and then group, this is what I'm referring to. Also, this is a very dynamic interface. So, for example, the graphics tab that's shown here, that's shown when you have a screen open. If you don't have a screen open, the graphics tab will not show. And if you don't have an object or a group of objects selected, you won't see the Format tab. Another thing that happens, and you're going to notice this when I start to record actual screenshots of the product, the ribbon interface is very dynamic and collapsible. As an example, you can see here that the rectangle, rounded rectangle, and the ellipse don't have text next to them like the other objects. That's going to be due to the resolution that I'm recording at. I'm going to use a smaller resolution to make sure we fit everything on the screen, make it easily viewable. I do know that, for example, this data objects group is one of the first ones to collapse, and it will not even have the individual icons. It will collapse down to a single icon. So just be aware that this interface changes. It's very dynamic, and it tries to follow what you're doing and make it easy. In addition to training, I also use the product occasionally and find it very easy to use. Notice too that many, as it says here at the bottom, many selection or menu items are available in multiple locations. So, for example, you might have the arrange icon might be found here on the graphics tab. It might be found on the format tab as well. And if you have a group of objects selected, then you can right click on that and also get it the arrange. So neither or no particular one is any better use than the other. It just happens to be where you find it easy to get to and most efficient in your way of developing. So other online resources you can find here. Some of these are available depending on your registration and your support contract, for example. But basically, the Wonderware training link provides the yearly training schedule, online tutorials, things of that nature. The training blog gives you how-tos, introduction articles, as well as announcements. And rarely there's more than one post each week. But the Wonderware Development Network requires registration and access is based on support contracts. So just to give you some heads up as where other resources are available. So that concludes the preparation video. We hope you enjoy this video series and look forward to presenting more of these to you. And hopefully you learned something and have a fun time doing it. So thanks and have a great day.